They're both readied up. Cypher versus Evil for the 4th Sunday Cup of the full season. We are on Cypher as we get underway here. So he's going to pick up that Mega. And he's got the lightning gun in hand also. So it's going to be a decent kind of evenish start from both players. Evil lacking the lightning gun himself. He's going to want to get himself over there. But can he do it in time? He does get it, but Cypher's going to try to punish. He has to escape though. Has the teleporter there as the escape option. Get himself back to red in time. Beautiful play from Cypher there. I absolutely love how he handled that.
Yeah, he had a great start with the weapon advantage and also a little bit of HP advantage, but then there was this fight where Evil actually made even grounds with Cypher, but the position of Cypher was then too good for red, and Evil just charged it in, and Cypher is now in a very solid control. He has 180 and 120, has all the weapons he needs, and Evil has been caught now on the red, but now it was a different situation than before. He had the shaft, he could do damage. It wasn't that bad. He probably said to himself, okay, I need to lose one frag to get back in control. He had to invest something into this game, and he did. Because Cypher is now not in a good spot, and he just hit 2 great rails, and just because of that, he managed to get the red. If that didn't happen, well, Evil would be there.
So Cypher now perched above in the upper areas, looking for his opponent. Gonna see that it's safe to take the Mega, so he'll happily go for that. Looks like Evil's gonna throw some aggression on, but there's nothing really to be gained from that area, that angle of attack. So Cypher now positioned on red, waiting for Evil to appear. Where is he? Kind of predicting a drop here, leaving the red up for a little bit before finally taking it. Trying to be super safe against someone as powerful as Evil. He will spot him. Good silent approach there onto Evil. Evil taking quite a bit of damage, not too much though. Cypher going to try to push it, and he does. He pushes it so far, he gets the kill onto Evil. Now up 4-0. Evil played in a very nice secure game previously against Sparky. But does he have the chops to defeat Cypher here? He goes for another fight. He's not going to get much out of it. So Atamiga, it's not going so well now for Evil.
No, not at all. And Cypher not only plays it very safe, he also plays it very effective. He chooses the fights well, and then, for example, before that he delayed the red armor so he could pick it up after picking up the Mega Health. And Evil, just with that, he outpositioned himself, and it's not possible for him to now do some damage on the major items or challenge for the major items at all. And Cypher is now on a perfect 200 stack, and it's really looking good for Cypher, for Evil. Sorry, Evil needs to do some amazing damage in an amazing fight, which is very efficient for him. But I'm not seeing it. 7-0 at the moment, and he's not playing defensive enough, or he didn't play defensive enough before, because now it's maybe already too late. Maybe we already have this kind of item circle, this perfect item circle for Cypher, because now he can frag Evil, if he knows that, he can go to yellow.
And he does make his way to yellow. And that's going to be a free one for him. And that's going to be more armor taken away from Evil as he takes the Mega 2. So is Cypher going to go aggressive? He's got 8 frags in the lead, and to be fair, he might as well poke as much as he can, as he wants to. Picks up another red. There is spam onto the spawns. Doesn't find anything there, but Evil caught with another rail. So Evil really needs to start working the greens and start to slow this down against Cypher. But the problem is that now Cypher's in this really crazy position where he's got so much power around all of the maps. So if Cypher decides to just, if Evil starts taking it slow, and Cypher can just take the fight to him, he can just rush at him and take the risk, because the risk is killing Evil's chances for another minute or 2 versus dying, and that gives up 1 frag. He can give up 10 frags. He's got 5 minutes left. So it feels like something that's worthwhile for Cypher to do. So it feels like Evil's got not many choices here against Cypher, you know, we're looking at 10-0 as we are.
Yeah, it kind of is maybe a similar situation that we had before on other maps like DM6 or campgrounds, where when someone can cycle all the items and can charge in and the other guy can't do much about it. But Evil had a good situation, had 2 great rockets to destroy Cypher at the red, and now can't do the same to Cypher what he did to him before. He has all the important weapons. He can destroy Cypher once again, but now he ran out of shaft ammo and needs to do something else. He needs to shoot rockets and do dust damage with that. And
perfect.
that was actually a little bit of a mistake by Cypher to take the shaft out. Now Evil didn't even have to recharge for the shaft and got shaft ammo back. But anyway, 10-3 at the moment, and Evil is really trying. He hasn't given up the match by now, and he shouldn't, because 7 frags is definitely possible in 4 minutes and 20 seconds. But wow, great prediction by Cypher. These rockets were spot on, but didn't help that much. Evil still is on a very high stack and still can charge around the map without any need to slow down that much.
He is definitely a player who does make good comebacks, and I mean, he has the nerve for it. He has that solid nerve for it. So he's someone who has accomplished it many times, and it's a characteristic for Evil. He does never give up. Things do happen for him because he's so damn good. So 7 frags to make, and he does pick up a red, and he's really started to make good headway into this game. So fortunately for him, he was able to do it before time got too late. 7 frags is going to be hard to chase up, and he's going to have to start working on it right now. And I want to see him just I don't know, charge at the Cypher, just grab him around the neck and just strangle him right now, because he can't let Cypher keep escaping like this. I mean, he can hit a rail here or there, but it gives Cypher enough time in between each bit of damage. Cypher has time to regenerate, but there you go. It's going to catch Cypher up the jump pad. The rocket jump to intercept. Cypher charging on the corner. Oh, he does manage to take him down. Beautiful play from Evil there, finally getting the frag. He knew he had to commit, and he did. And he's going to recharge. No, he's not going to recharge the souls just yet, but he does get the mega. So, working on the red now, as he has Cypher nearby, but not an immediate threat. Evil presses onwards towards the shards in the yellow area. There it is, spots that item, and he's got everything now. This is really his chance. He's got to keep the pressure up.
Yeah, and he has such a stack advantage that he can play exactly what he wants. He can take the shaft and just run plus forward into the opponent, and wow, that was great play by Evil. He just predicted what Cypher would do, and Cypher dropped down to play defensively, and now it's only a 5-point game and 2 minutes and 20 seconds to play. This is definitely possible. Evil also can take the yellow armor now, so there has been quite a while where Cypher didn't take any major items, not even the yellow one. So let's see how this plays out. I mean, it's possible to play very sneaky on this map and hide in very different spots. For example, you can hide here at the jump pad of the rail, where you can't be seen from anywhere but there. You can hide near the stairs. So there are a couple of different places where you can hide, but I'm not sure if Cypher chooses to do so. At the moment, he can't be seen anywhere on the map, and he was just running around like it was an empty map, and he would just train his movement on it.
Yeah, it's really good stuff from Cypher. Finally going for the teleporter. Evil catching it with, oh, just missing the rail around the corner there. Evil has to go back for round number 2 quite quickly, because time is of the essence for Evil. 5 frags to make in a minute and 15 seconds. Spot Cypher again. He's got to go for the chase. He can't be funny about this. Has to just charge him down. Gets 1 rocket in the face. Eats another one and a third. Cypher serving him rockets. And Evil goes down. That's going to be the first map going to Cypher. Very convincing effort on Cure, because I mean that's something we would expect from him, but I don't think I expected it to be quite so convincing, especially having seen Evil's performance on that map against other opponents. Definitely a great series of plays from Cypher, and Evil, if you gave him another couple minutes, he probably could have turned it around. It's just the comeback started too late, and Cypher built up too much. It was too many lost opportunities early on. But it looks like we're getting live into the next game. Bloodrun map number 2. I thought Furious Heights was in the mix, but guess I was wrong. But here we go, starting out on Evil. Oh
wow,
my god,
direct.
Oh my goodness.
So he had a really great spawn there. Oh no, the spawn wasn't that great, but the shots were great and the spawn were quite even. He has now the problem that he has only one rocket left in his rocket launcher, and Cypher probably knew that and just charged in. He maybe even counted the rockets, which is a possibility in the start of the game that you count how many rockets your opponent shoots, so you have an advantage. And yeah, Cypher already looks good again. I mean, the start, wow. Great rail here from Cypher, and he can just drop down even against Evil. I mean, this is probably the worst you can do, dropping down against an Evil who has a shaft, but he had enough armor and health that he could afford this loss and just kill him in the process. I hope for Evil that he's gonna have a higher accuracy on the railgun than before. I saw in the end that Evil had on the last map only 1 out of 8 shots hit with the railgun. That's not much. We're used to see much higher accuracies from Evil. So Cypher is here in a defensive, or no, it's not a defensive, it's a controlling position here in the middle. From here he can control all the map, and he knows Evil is somewhere there in the yellow room, and he can just control every exit, so Evil has no chance of getting to the mega health. And he can even now push onto the yellow armor, because red is not up for a couple of seconds. He can go back to the controlling position here in the middle on the granite platform, but he misses a lot. He misses a lot. I mean, wow. What is the accuracy? 5?
Yeah.
Well, he didn't hit anything, and Evil hit everything. And he might be able to take this mega health, but it's a risk because he's available and doesn't have much armor at all. So it went well for Evil. It's 2-2, and he tries to catch Cypher going for the red, but Cypher decides to be defensive on this red and just do damage, which he did. He just hit a rail and is now waiting under Evil. And Evil doesn't have a rocket, so he had to plasma jump up. He can't rocket jump up, and well, this can take a while.
And Evil going to drop down there. He's got the mega spawning on him very soon. So Evil definitely in a good position here. And right now, Evil with that 200-100 stack, 125 now, is going to be creeping around it. He's got position on red. He's not going to go for an interception. He's just going to try to play silent instead. See if his opponent will make the sound. His opponent will make some kind of mistake here. But there is up on the spot now. Mega's quite far ways away. He can actually leave this red up for a while, actually, if he wants to. There it is. He's going to drop and spots his opponent finally. That tells him everything he needs to know. But he didn't take the red very quickly, so this is an interesting situation. It could be a chance now for Cypher, but Cypher accounted for him having that more added stack, and now Cypher's probably going to see that the red is actually up, and there it is, finally taken by Evil. So Cypher did great damage there, but you can see that in the end it ended up being redundant. So now another engagement there. Cypher wants to bully his way onto that yellow. He does just that and steals it away. So Cypher is making great trades. He's slowly building himself back into the game. He's going to be able to make a big play soon.
Yeah, Evil is now in a bad position to actually take the red, and he just needs to focus on not getting hit by these grenades and do some damage on the red. But he actually got hit by the rail, and he fell back on the mega health immediately. Can now restack a little bit on the mega health and do, wow, great rail. Even though it's an easy rail, it's good that he hit that. He's now in a better position. Now he's on the middle level. You can't really attack red from the lower level, but he's now in the middle level. He's waiting here for Cypher to get seen. Cypher was below in a defensive position, and now he has the rockets. Before we had the situation where Evil didn't have the rockets, and now he can jump up very fast, take the red, and even attack on Cypher, but Cypher was smart enough and to even get the mega health. And he's in a horrible spot there. There's probably one of the worst spots to get caught out with the shaft when you are dead at the quad damage spawn.
Yeah, for sure. He has now positioning on the red, has to defend this spot, and Cypher's trying to do damage there, but I mean, there's nothing he can really accomplish. He's gonna do this Cypher thing where you come back, keep double backing, peeking your head, back around the corner, see if you can't get another bit of damage, but not gonna happen just yet. And Evil again has the run of the major items, despite the fact that he's hit a halfway point. And it is a very close game. It's tied, but this could all change. Cypher takes a lot of damage there. Can he survive? He's in a weakened state here. He has to avoid Evil for the next 30 seconds. Evil's going to find him around the 50. Evil gets the kill with a great rocket there, and the red as well. Cypher unable to avoid him for the key 30-second window of time, which he needed to build up again to be safe. And Evil, great for him to realize that that was a good time to go, and it wasn't a good time to be defensive. So now with Megas winning in a couple seconds, can Evil get over there in time? I mean, he should be able to. Cypher played a risk there, and he's going to go for the damage as well and take this fight. Can he make it happen? He does! And I've got to say that Cypher's attempt on that Mega was risky because he knew that Evil knew the time and that Evil should have a better stack. So Cypher was just making the play. Okay, I'm going to try to completely outdamage you when you go for this attack. So that was very brave. It was a risk, but he needed that, and it's a tie game again.
Yeah, it paid out completely for him. But we are now in a situation where the major items spawn at exactly the same time, and Cypher goes from the lower route. So he gets railed, and he can't really peek into the red anymore. He doesn't have this opportunity anymore. But he takes the Mega Health, and Evil decides not to go in for the Mega Health at all. I don't know why. I think he would have outstacked Cypher a little bit. Maybe he didn't have the weapons, I don't know. Cypher is... What is he doing? He's trying to do some damage on Evil and not losing the better position on the next red. But he's going in and just... Well, that's really bad. Really bad going into a fight on the stairs. And Evil just sits there with the shaft and just can shaft you down. I mean, that's 100% shaft for Evil right there.
And now he's one in the lead, and this is really critical too because, I mean, otherwise we're thinking about a situation where Cypher could potentially go 2-0 up in the opening stages of the best of 5. So 4-3, he's going to be stuck in this choke point, but the damage output might allow Evil to just go straight through. Now Cypher, he's going to stay there with the LG though, and I don't understand. All he could do was die there. Evil, after hitting that rail, after hitting that rocket, he opened up the red area for himself. Because the thing is that we're looking at that situation, going through that choke point, you're going to take damage like crazy. You have to deal it like crazy too if you want to survive, and he did that. And Cypher, I didn't adjust, but Cypher now, with a bit of a trap, he's got to get out of there in time. And this is, again, exactly what Cypher does. He's so good at this. Deals a lot of damage, gets out of there with 10 HP. Rebuilds, and then keeps doing the same again and again. Keeps finding the damage, keeps finding the free damage as well. And that's what is important in Duel. You need to have your escape options well planned out, and you've got to use them well. Cypher's one of the best at that in the business. So you're going to find another rail at 1 HP. Nice, nice, nice. Cypher might be able to come back into this. He knows Evil's screaming too.
And he knows that the 50 HP bubble is not up because he probably took it right before that. So Evil's gonna be in here if he's waiting for the 50 HP bubble for quite a while. But he decides to move out, and he got a little bit lucky there because if Cypher jumped up just a split second before that, he might have been taken out. Now Evil waits here on the 50 HP bubble, can take the 50, which doesn't help him that much because he's only 11 HP, but now 50 HP. He can now afford to go to these more open spaces a little bit better. So he's stacked up 100, 125. The rail misses from Cypher, and he can now play defensive in a way that he couldn't do before. Before was just, okay, don't catch me at all. No, please, no, I'm too low. But now he can just play this defensive, teleport the game for the last minute, and he should be fine.
And Cypher has to go nuts. Here he comes, Cypher on the aggression. He catches Evil. Evil trying to shoot rockets to defend himself, and he can't quite do it. He's off the spawn right now, and we should switch Pom to Cypher, see if he can make this happen. There it is. He's going to pull out the LG, but of course, Evil makes his escape once more. And we're going to see that probably another time or two as Cypher goes on the aggression. Here he goes up the jump pad. He's going to find Evil surely at some point soon. 30 seconds left. He just needs one frag. Oh, and he just barely misses that rail around the corner. Just shooting it too soon there. And rocket jump up. Can he catch Evil? Oh my god, it's so tense right now. He's got 20 seconds left now. He takes another yellow. Rocket jumps again. And back. Double back. Evil's going to catch it. Can he find the frag here? He's got the LG out. He's got 9 points of health. He's got the rail out. It's got to be about the burst damage, and he hits the shot. Brilliant. That's the only way to do it, and Cypher pulled it off. What amazing calmness. And oh no, Evil in the wake of that comes straight back. with the with the rocket launcher close range. What a sad story for Cypher. That was amazing.
Wow, wow, that was intense. The last couple of seconds, wow.
Yeah, I didn't expect that at all.
Yes, I didn't expect it as well, because Evil had a great stack in this situation where I think in the end he killed himself. He had a great stack, he was in this position, and then I don't know why he looked away. He looked away for a couple of seconds, and right in this moment Cypher came in, and it was a really weird decision.
It was really unfortunate, yeah. I mean, he tied the game up after all that work, and again, that fight, he knew he had 9 health, and like normally he would just escape, but he's like, well, the only way to make this happen, because I can't go in close, hit that one rail, and he did it, and that's why it's depressing to me, because I'm like, I couldn't believe that he managed to get that, but it looks like we're going to Lost World as the third map. Both players now have a map under their belts, so neither of them feels too pressured in this best of 5. They both have a life left. They can both afford to lose another map and still be able to have a chance to win this grand final. Lost World is going to be a really interesting one because they're both incredible players on every single map. So it's really hard to predict it either way. And of course, we had these grand finals with these players recently, these best of 5s. And the last one was 3-2, and the one before that was 3-0. So I mean, really, these guys can just trade it back and forth. Who knows? So hard to predict.
Yeah, I can't predict this map at all. I mean, for me it was clear that Cypher was the favorite on Cure. I didn't know how CTN would go, and we saw that it was really, really close. And on this map again, I don't know what's going to happen or who's the favorite at all. Overall, I think maybe Cypher is tiny little bit of a favorite, but I don't know. Let's see. We're going live into the game, Lost World, and we are on Evil's buff. Let's see what he's doing. He starts near the red armor, picks the red armor up, and he hears Cypher with the shotgun. So that's already giving him a couple of information. He tries to go to the shaft area, and wow!
4 bullets hit there.
Great aim with the plasma gun there, or great prediction. He's now in very good shape because Cypher doesn't have an awful lot of resources now to work with.
Yeah, that 80 damage, that's pretty much taking off a red. So that's a massive advantage coming into the second cycle of items that are spawning. It gives Evil, basically gives him positioning on everything, and not just positioning, but stack. So it makes it impossible for Cypher to challenge. Cypher can try to shoot rockets and get predicted damage on Evil's exits after the item, which is what's happening now. But at the same time, it's not really substantial. There it is, though that is a substantial amount of damage, but it's for naught if he can't follow up more. He's doing exactly that. He's even going to go for the aggression. He felt like he did enough, and there it is. He pulls out the lightning gun. Beautiful read from Cypher. He realized that third rocket was the cue to go for it, and he makes it happen. Beautiful.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Again, a very Cypher-esque move. He just read the situation perfectly to go in, and now he's in control. He took the mega health. He just heard Evil taking a yellow armor, so he can go for the red safely. He can even try to apply pressure on the other yellow armor by rocket jumping up. And Evil doesn't have a shaft, so he only has a plasma gun, but it's dangerous. Always when you go up against a plasma gun, you can lose a lot. But Evil decided not to go in. And Cypher just sneaks around the map and tries to find Evil in an awkward position where he can do damage on him. Evil has the rocket now.
Was a nice rocket right there. Cypher's got Evil kind of pinned in, but the thing is, Cypher's got 1 rocket left. He knows it. He wants to rocket jump up to get more. There it is. He's going to rocket jump up, get more, and get position. And he can cut his opponent off from not only red, but yellow as well. It's all about where Evil moves as to what Cypher does. Cypher going to drop down, rocket jump back up to the next yellow. Perfect rocket jumps. That was just perfection right there. Beautiful from Cypher. And now he's finally back up on position again. And he just took 150 armor, and in rocket jumps maybe took off, maybe 60, 70, but he's back on position. Everything from Evil. Mega's coming up now, and Cypher's got position on it. So Cypher's really, really in a great spot now for some aggression after this red. Let's see if being aggressive onto the next yellows is going to yield him a frag.
Yeah, he's trying again to cut off Evil in this choke point in the middle. But Evil heard the rocket jump, spammed perfectly the rockets, and did some damage. Evil is now in a bad position, because if you're down there and your opponent knows that you're down there, you can get spammed easily. So Cypher just decides to spam the exit there with a couple of rockets and is now safe to take the red and also the grenade, which can be very handy or come in very handy sometimes. He takes the mega health and is on 200 and will probably take center position again and try to find Evil. He's sneaking around the corners and just hopes for the best. This is just seeking for luck at the moment, or for luck catching your opponent in some situation. While at the meantime he tries not to lose any big items. The red is up at the moment, but he doesn't really care. He's just trying to find Evil or trying to kill him probably, because his stack has been so high for quite a long time and he didn't make any frags.
And there is the pickup of the Mega. So Cypher still... Oh no, he's going to get caught by an ambush of Evil. Evil wanted to make a really strong fight there, and I can understand that. If you look at the positioning, Evil with the rockets has a chance to knock Cypher off into the lava, which is really good potential right there in that fight, as well as having the close range surprise. So beautiful stuff from Evil there. You can see how much damage he did. The problem is that it's going to be kind of reversed now as Cypher does scoop up all the remaining bits of armor and health. And there you go, catches Evil again. So unfortunately Evil's play there did not work out, and the problem is that for that attempt, which was a solid attempt to make, he's down a frag now. So that was the cost of his failure, and it's still fine though with 5 minutes into this almost, and he just got time.
Yeah, and he just got caught out. What Cypher tried to do for the last couple of minutes, namely catching Evil out, just happened, and it was probably accidentally. Cypher didn't even try to do that, probably. But let's switch to Evil's puff for a couple of seconds, because we haven't seen him much. Evil has more or less the same stack as Cypher, but Cypher has this kind of a dangerous aura around him. And he also can pick up probably the next two major items, picks up the mega health and charges in for the frag here. But Evil leaves the room in the perfect timing. He doesn't spend too much time in there to get more damage than before. But at the moment it looks a little bit hopeless what he's trying to do, or the last couple of minutes, couple of seconds which I spectated him looked a little bit hopeless, and Cypher's just outplaying him completely, and now can even catch him off guard at the spawn frag, and then it's 4-0, which is already a big lead on Team 13.
Especially when you consider what we've seen so far. And quick shotgun aggression off the spawn does give him some damage, but the problem is that there's not much more than that. He receives a lot, and now he's got no weapons as well. I mean, it wasn't just him giving up health and so on for that fight, but it's giving up time to try to take that fight, and it was time that he could have been getting himself weapons and armors and so on. So Cypher's going to try to capitalize on this once more, spamming some grenades around so he can find anything. He doesn't have to do anything. He just has to focus on items, focus on positioning, and reading Evil's movements. Trying to pressure him, not be overly passive, and by doing that, he can keep himself his lead at 4-0. And maybe even if Evil takes a risk, he can extend it. But he doesn't need more frags than this on Lost World.
Yeah, we have seen Cypher before on DM13, and I thought, yeah, maybe it's just his defensive kind of super controlled way was just because of the opponent, that he didn't want to lose too much effort. But now we see that he's playing this exact same style against Evil, which is probably a different idea behind it, because Evil can just destroy you completely if you charge at the wrong time. Yeah, I'm gonna check the item pickups now. Evil had 1 mega health and 3 reds and 12 yellows. On the other hand, Cypher had 11 reds and 11 megas. So we see that his control was just throughout the whole game. He never really lost the map or the control of the map to Evil, and he's just completely controlled, always aware of what items are spawning, and always or almost always aware where his opponent is.
Oh, Evil gets knocked off, and he gets through the teleporter. Cypher's going to defend with the rockets. Mega's up on the spot there. He needs to get Evil dead right now before he can take that red, but he doesn't do it in time. Oh, that is painful. Eating a direct rocket, Evil is looking worse for wear. He's going to take this fight, but there's nothing he can do. 5-0 now, and Cypher has surely secured it in the bag with that frag, because Evil has to start over again, and Cypher is about to be, after the next cycle of pickups, again really stacked. And then to defeat that kind of stack, you need time. And time is not a commodity that Evil possesses anymore. So he's going to go for crazy aggressions like this. And this oh my god, he plasma jumped up there, almost caught Cypher. Cypher was super low. And Evil is unrelenting, just constantly charging away at Cypher. Finally kills him, in fact. This is quite a crazy aggression. Cypher didn't expect the plasma at the beginning. I think that really threw him off.
Yeah, but it's the only chance how he can get back in this game. But still, I think it's over. 1 minute 20 seconds on this map with 5 frags difference. I think it's GG. But let's see. Evil finds Cypher in the perfect spot. So it's only 3 frags left. 1 minute and 10 seconds to go. What can he do? I mean, on this map, it's very difficult to keep aggression and also keep stack at the same time. But let's see what Evil can do. He picks up all the major items, has a decent stack now, 160 and 120. Where is Cypher? Where is Cypher? Where is Cypher hiding? Is he hiding at the shaft? No, that didn't check. Cypher is going to the jump pad, and Evil tries to catch him at the exit there, but he didn't. So 40 seconds left, 3 frags to go.
And Evil is going to find Cypher finally. LG on LG, and it's going to be Cypher that takes it, and consequently takes the map. And that's going to be 6-2, map number 2. And it's Cypher. I mean, they both have won against each other in these grand finals. They're both, they both have that one best of 5 victory. But who's going to get the third one? I mean, Cypher right now, he's in advantage. He's gone up 2 maps to 1 over Evil now. So we're going to go to the next map. It's going to be match point for Cypher, and Evil needs to win if he wants to keep his chances alive in this tournament, or he'll go out second. So still, it's a respectable place. But these 2 players, the whole dynamic is a bit different, because as we move on to Furious Heights, because they're both going to be at DreamHack. They're both finalists. Like, as I think you said, Rafa, Evil, Cypher. These are our 3 favorites for the finals. It's the battle between these 2. They need to gain as much information about each other as possible, because the tournament that really counts is DreamHack Winter. So this is such an interesting clash from that perspective, to see them both working each other out as they play more and more, because it's going to keep happening. Seems like these are the 2 best in the whole kind of Europe and the region of Europe and Russia right now. So interesting games. Furious Heights, I love to see Evil on this map. I love to see Cypher here. Anything you want to add before they ready up?
Yeah, they are already rated up, so I'm not saying anything.
I left you out to dry.
Yeah, it's okay.
You can take it away.
Okay, let's see. Evil spawns at the red, quite a standard spawn, and he goes for the yellow and then for the rail, and now he needs to find some other weapons. But Cypher catches him here at a toxic position, but the plasma gun of Evil was quite phenomenal. He got Cypher down to only, what was it, 6 HP, 7 HP, 8 HP, something like that. And now he controls the 50 HP. He knows Cypher wants health. And the 50 HP in the middle is the health the position where you can gain this health. Anyway, Cypher goes around the map and avoids Evil's position in the middle, and now tries to do damage on the Mega Health, because Evil is already in the better position to take. But Cypher doesn't have a railgun, as far as I know. No, he doesn't. And tries to spam the exit there with the plasma gun, but he didn't do any damage, so he can't stay at the red. And he otherwise it would be a frag for Evil.
Exactly. We have yellow up on the spot now, and Cypher is kind of prowling on the top levels of the map. He's got every weapon apart from the railgun, and this is going to be make it hard for him to do proper red challenges. It's either committed on the ground floor level like this in the trap, or it's nothing basically, because without that long distance weapon he's not going to be able to attack it. But he does have the stack in the position to just jump on it, and that means he's giving up. He's taking the red and kind of fixing that hole in his arsenal that was the rail by sacrificing the mega and saying, okay, I take red and I take the railgun. So now Cypher has his long range options opened up once again to him, and he's also got position here, but he's run out of rockets, and this is kind of annoying. Has to make the jump across. He fails it. And that is problematic, because now he's in a position that he wasn't intending to have. But Evil jumps on his head whilst he's shafting him, picks up the red mid-fight, both incredibly low, and they both escape that situation. And my goodness, that was incredibly close.
Yes.
And Cypher didn't want that fight, and Evil wants any fight, it seems. He just dived straight on there, but now we have a battle over Mega.
Yeah, and Cypher is now in a good position because Evil is probably still low because that is not that much health and armor on the map. But he managed to rail him twice, and now he is back in the game. The red actually got stolen away from him, but Cypher again does a lot of damage in this closed position, like before in the when we caught him at the very start of the map. So Evil has only more or less starting stack, and Cypher is just looking for some weapons probably. He doesn't have all the important weapons. He's waiting down there with the shaft, and yeah, bullies or forces Evil to go back, and Evil just gonna take Mega, and because he hit the railgun, he expected Cypher not to come in, which he didn't.
So Evil, again, he's got himself decent positioning in the lower levels. He's kind of lacking armor though. He can hear his opponent bottom. There he goes. He's going to spot that Cypher dropping down for the red. And Evil had timing on it, so he had the perfect position to punish Cypher. And I love how he was looking for that exact moment. And now he is one in the lead. And got Mega coming up soon. He knows it. He's waiting. Will Cypher go up the stairs? No, he's going to go off to the Mega side. And Evil might just give this away to catch Cypher. And he does. I mean, this is a play sometimes that you can make where you allow your opponent to think that you're making a mistake when really you're just kind of setting a trap. But Evil, it didn't plan. I mean, it didn't go according to plan because now he's dead. He basically gave up the Mega, the yellow, for this kind of a plan, and it completely backfired. It can't backfire worse than that, and now it's tied again.
Yes, I mean, it was a huge risk. I'd rather do this kind of trap, or however you want to call it, with an armor, not with the Mega Health. The Mega Health is usually just too important to me to do such a play. And it didn't work for him, so it's 4-2 for Cypher, and he predicted perfectly where Evil would come from, and it's 5-2. So I hope it's not gonna end soon, this game, and we're not gonna see a GG soon. And I'm glad that Evil picked up a frag here with the plasma gun, and probably can secure the red armor for him now. Because now it's still an open game, and Cypher hits a great rocket there.
But that plasma man is strong, and another rocket, and the second. Cypher shoots completely blind rockets, and they are perfection. Just absolute perfection there. So now Cypher, 15 health, Evil knows he's low. He's got to somehow get out of here. Can he do it? I have no idea. Oh, there's just no way, is there? And he does go down. Mega's up there on the spot. He will grab it. So Evil is in a position to make his comeback a reality right now. He's going to find Cypher again. But Cypher, they're both with 200 resources there. The red for Cypher and the Mega for Evil. But Evil has to back away. He knows he's going to have more chances in the upcoming fights. So can he catch Cypher after picking up that yellow armor? It doesn't look like Cypher's hanging around there. It looks like he's long gone. And there he is above with the rail. This is a problem for Evil. This is going to make his... He can't really make movement now in the Mega area. Against that railgun, he just can't do it. He's got to stay on the close ranges. He's going to go for it anyway because he caught Cypher at the mid-range. Perfect situation. And Cypher felt like he could still rail, but when he couldn't, and that was the frag. So that mistake from Cypher cost him another frag. And oh my god, is Evil going to find another one? Looking quite close, and he does hit the rail, and red is not up for a while, so things are getting crazy here on Furious Heights.
Yeah, and before Evil was in a terrible spot, at least I thought so, and only with this great shaft game that he showed at the red, he's now back in control, can even take the red without even being challenged. And he's certainly gonna look for blood now, because the Mega is, well, not anymore, because Cypher took the Mega health, takes the red, so it's nullified, and even hits another rail, so now he can charge in, and he does frag. So he hit two perfect rails there, and didn't take too much damage, so he could afford the small bits of damage at the end. He now, again, the second time in a row, takes the red without contest, and, well, I'm anxious a bit about Cypher that he's going to fall apart by now, but it's Cypher and he never does that.
Exactly, exactly. 6-6. We're looking at a tied game now. Again, you can see in the top right, it is match point for Cypher. If he wins this, it's all over for Evil. And here Evil goes, charging his way onto the red armor. He finds Cypher. He's got the lightning gun in hand, but Cypher's rockets are always a danger, a massive danger, and he gets the hell out of there as Evil does manage to get himself positioned back around the Mega side of the map. It's not going to be good for a while. I mean, Mega's not going to spawn. It's going to be the red that spawns first. Evil, will he dive straight on it? He's going to find Cypher, trying to close the distance, and Cypher, I mean, getting found and caught there, that was very bad. And now Evil. This is the kind of point where you look at it and you're like, okay, you got a clean frag, and he's going to get Mega and red for free, and it's 2.5 minutes left. And it feels like a situation where, how do you defeat a 200-200 stack? Usually, it takes some time. Usually, it takes building up some. Cypher doesn't have that luxury, really. He's going to have to hit some insane shots. He goes crazy with some rockets, but another frag given up to Evil.
Yeah, before this frag, I'd say Cypher's strategy should be to wait until the last 30 seconds, because then he might have a better stack, but now he's 2 frags down, so he needs to make something happen before the 9-minute mark probably. And he has to be aggressive here, and he has to put pressure on this Mega Health, although his health and armor is probably quite low. He probably doesn't have more than 150 collective health and armor.
Good delay long enough to get the red though. That's yeah, very, very strong. Nice. So great play from Cypher. That's pretty much all he could have hoped to do, and he did execute it. Keeping Evil occupied long enough to steal away that red. Now, Evil is on the hunt once again. And perhaps we should switch to Cypher to see how he takes this fight. And he's going to be LGing Evil now, pulls out the rockets. And Evil is quite low, only 50 health, but 50 armor rather, but it's enough to survive. It's enough to get the frag, and it's enough to almost secure this game right now, because there's only a minute left. Cypher is not going to be able to put on any crazy aggressions, but he has to. He has to go very soon. But look at how little he's got to work with. It's a nice rocket, but the exchange was bad for Cypher, and now, you know, one rail will kill him. Oh god, he's going to be so careful here. One rail will do it, and there it is. And Evil now 4 in the lead with a minute remaining. Cypher surely isn't going to do it on the 4th map. This is going to go most certainly to a 5th and final map again between these two incredible players. And there it is, forfeited the end of time. We're going to the last and final map between Cypher and Evil.
Yeah, and if I look at the stats now, Evil did 800 more damage than Cypher on this map. Yeah. So this is probably due to most of the time that Cypher didn't have the proper equipment, or in other words, weapons to fight with.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a really interesting furious fight. It was very back and forth. I mean, we had Evil really just hammering him down with the plasma gun at various points to come back in the game. I mean, those are always risky plays. I mean, the plasma gun is such an unreliable weapon. I mean, even in the hands of the most skilled players, there's always the uncertainty. But the final map, instead of what we're used to seeing, a toxicity, we're getting a Sinister. Does that make you happy? Does this make you happy? Like, that's some cooler noises right there.
I just quoted cooler. And I probably is a better decider map, especially if I think I'm already a little bit tired, and it's probably easier to follow the game on Sinister than on Toxicity. So for that, I'm happy, and I'm really looking forward to see both players playing this map, because we haven't seen Sinister today, and I'm not sure if I've ever seen Cypher on Sinister.
He actually played against Avik here in the final before, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he played very well, but it is Evil. Evil's been playing this from the beginning. He's great here as well. So take it away, Atamigo.
So, Evil got the shaft spot, probably his favorite spawn, considering his abilities with the shaft, and he takes the yellow and hasn't seen Cypher so far. Cypher now tries to find a hit with his railgun, but he misses twice, or even 3 times. And Evil has all what he needs to challenge for every single item that there is on the map. He can go for the red armor. Cypher still didn't hit the railgun, and he can now go through the teleporter and secure himself a mega health, because Cypher just probably doesn't have the resources to challenge for this mega health, weapon-wise and also armor-wise. And Evil, that probably was the first time that he even took damage from Cypher. That's 50 seconds into the game. So it's not looking too good for Cypher. He now needs to play really defensive, but instead of that, does a Cypher move, which
Which
I
puts him
can't.
ahead.
I just can't understand it. I mean, he just was outstacked heavily, didn't hit before that, and now he hits just 2 rails in a row. Okay, were not the most difficult hits ever.
Perfect timing for the kill too, considering he just had the armor left over. But Evil, oh my god! Cypher, the thing with Cypher right there, if he had maintained position on Mega, he would have been fine. He would have taken Mega mid-fight, would have been easily able to win that if Evil committed, and instead Evil gets the Mega. So crazy stuff here from Cypher. I mean, good plays, bad plays, who knows, but it's 2-1. He's still got the lead, and it's even. Evil is not that stacked, so Cypher's still, you know, doing pretty alright for himself, and he's going to take another yellow armor, and he takes the rocket too. So waiting on position for Mega. It's more important to him than the red is. I mean, he's got yellows nearby. There's more. He's got the teleporters too for quick access to red if he wants. So Cypher will get that red armor, but Evil's coming out better here.
Yeah, probably. He has definitely a better position at the moment, or is in a better position at the moment, and he tries, instead of camping there at the red for 20 seconds, which would be useless, tries to find Cypher. And
wow!
Great rail. The second one was really cool. Remembers me at some action on campgrounds, which has a kind of a similar jump pad, and goes back to the yellow armor, and he just saw Cypher at the shaft there, but he knows, yeah, well, you can't do anything from that position. And he goes now back to the red. He should take the upper route because there is a yellow waiting for him, and he picks it up. 6 seconds to go for the red armor, and he's already there, but Cypher is nowhere to be seen. He's just completely avoided every contact with Evil so far, which is actually a good thing, because probably he would be destroyed.
Oh yeah, no question. Evil's trying to make it happen, and as he does so, he does receive a nasty rocket from Cypher, which is absolutely critical to keep Evil away from him. He must continue to do plays like this. There is another attempt, but you know, he's going to just jump straight on through the explosions, takes a rel as well as that rocket, and it always feels like Cypher's gone. But he never is. He just never is. And oh my god, a brilliant rocket to rail combo once again from the Belarusian to really start asserting his own will upon the map. Is now Evil is down to 100, 10 seconds until Mega. Cypher's going to try to make a play onto this. He pulls out the lightning gun, goes straight for it. 58 health left for Evil. He's too scared to try to jump straight on it, but Cypher's angling now. He won't be able to prevent this pickup of the Mega. Going instead for this red armor. It's so risky. Takes the rail, gets dropped on the lower levels, and up the jump pad he goes. And he's going to get forced into the grave by the rockets of Evil. So really crazy back and forth action over the Mega. Beautiful setup from Cypher with the rocket and rail combos, not once but twice. But in the end, he wasn't able to win the Mega. And Cypher now going to go for the Mega. But I mean, this feels like a misinformed play. It feels like a complete misread.
Yeah, it does, and Evil's gonna be able to take the Mega Health. He can't even afford to go for the 50 HP, while before the Mega Health he thought, yeah, Cypher's not gonna attack me, I'm just too stacked and he doesn't have anything. So he did that, and was not much of a risk. And I'm not quite sure what Evil's plan is for the next couple of seconds. He just needs to position himself for the red armor. He goes up the stairs and is now in a good position. You should be on this side of this little gap, because if you jump over, as we have seen just before, you can easily get shot down, and then you miss the red armor, which cost Cypher a frag, because he did miss the red armor there. So Evil is back on the Mega Health, and wow, Cypher just charges in and pushes Evil away from the Mega Health and can't take it. Although he took a lot of damage, he's able to charge in again, and Cypher
oh my god,
kills Evil, drops down with 1 HP left, but that's a great, wow, that's luck.
Oh my god,
that's just pure luck.
What is going on? I mean, Evil spawned on the bottom of the map because he spawned first.
Yeah,
and then Cypher was able to spawn at the top. That's ridiculous. But I mean, whatever, you know, Cypher now he's tied up the game, and I love the steal. The Mega steal was just ridiculous. He just walked onto it. He just walked onto it like nothing was going to happen to him, and nothing did. Cypher, though, you know, he's going to see that now Evil's taking the next Mega, and after Cypher, he picks up this red armor. He's going to be looking at dealing more and more damage. Another great rail. Can he seem to follow this up, though? That is what he's looking for. He can't seem to find a follow-up. There is another follow-up. Good rail. Evil completely denied now. This is Cypher's time to go for an aggression. He does it. Does he find anything just yet? Going to go on the pressing movements with that railgun. He gets another shot straight onto Evil. Evil is now just in terribly bad condition, and he's surely going to just die. He's 7 health left, pretty much, or less than that. Cypher now, 1 frag in the lead. This is good timing to be in control, good time to be building frags. Evil goes in aggressive, great rocket work. Can he put in more? He does not manage to do anything more, but I mean, Cypher's a little bit vulnerable here, but he's got all the weapons, and the thing about this map is, look at the ranges. You need weapons.
Yeah,
the rocket, the one weapon's not going to cut it.
Especially if it's only the rocket.
Exactly.
I mean, you can do a little bit of damage if you have a railgun, but yeah, that's about it. If you can't go into a 1 versus 1 direct challenge with the shaft, then you can't go into a rocket fight. And yeah, Cypher is in great position now. Only 3 minutes left on the map, and he's 3 frags up, and he had the best of the control in the last couple of minutes, or the better half of the control in the last couple of minutes. Evil charges in with the shaft and gets destroyed. He just didn't have to stack to do so. He would have had to surprise Cypher even more to be able to win this fight, but he didn't. And now Cypher hits a rail and can lay back. He knows when the Mega is, and he can take it. It's 8 seconds till red, and this is not looking good for us.
This is looking like game right now, because Cypher's up 5 frags now. And not only that, he's got great control, he's got the confidence, he's got kind of Evil in the bag right now, he's got him under control. And it hits 2 insane rails there, and that's going to just secure it even more, because now Evil's crippled. What can he do in the next minute? Like, almost nothing. I mean, Cypher's not incredibly stacked, but if Evil doesn't go now, he had to go then. I mean, he had nothing left. I mean, it's an impossible situation for Evil. And 6 frags now, 2 minutes, Evil's close to being out of this. But if he does something nuts, then perhaps, just maybe, it's possible.
Just maybe, yeah. I don't see it happening. I don't know why Evil is here on the Mega Health. I thought he knew somehow more or less when the Mega is going to spawn, but he was there far too early and lost another frag. 7 frags is the difference now, and Cypher can just go forth and back through the teleporter, and he can pick up whatever item he pleases, as it seems. Evil drops down into Cypher's shaft and does a lot of damage. This rocket almost hit Cypher and would have killed him, but it's only 1 minute and 10 seconds to go for 7 frags. It's impossible, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely very difficult to deal with Cypher now. He is looking like he is going to be... I mean, this is exciting to me, because, you know, Evil's someone that really always takes every tournament he plays seriously. I've never really seen him, like, you know, play below himself or, like, mess around, really. And to see Cypher, who has a bit more of a reputation for that in online cups, have Evil's number in 2 best of 5s out of the 3 that they've played, that's exciting, because now imagine the dynamic we're adding to here. When you have the dynamic of Cypher, you have the dynamic of Evil, and Rafa, and Kula, and all these other players, and you really have a top 3 here, which are basically crazy close. And that, to me, is exciting. That, to me, is a great preview for what we could expect at DreamHack. But there's still 4 weeks left. There's still so many more games to be played. I'm sure these guys, not only in the 125 FPS Cups, but in FACEIT, will face each other once again. So let's see how it develops.
Yeah, and what's more to add to these players is the uncertainty of players which are not from Europe.
Yeah,
and for example, FaCEIT.
Oh, FaCEIT. I always forget about FaCEIT.
I mean, he was here in Europe and he played very well, and he did some crazy moves, and now there are even new maps out, and players in Europe just don't know now how FaCEIT plays on these maps. They just don't know. I mean, we see here the clash of the European players all the time, and they know, yeah, this player plays like this, and some players even claim to have a key against another player. But it just, FaCEIT is just an uncertainty, and I don't know about the South African players. They might as well be a kind of a dark horse. I see FaCEIT as a better player than them, but you never know. You never know.
And so congrats to our winner tonight, Cypher, and commiserations to Evil, but I'm sure he'll be back and as mean and as ever. And thanks, Atomiga, for joining me for this cast. Is there anything you want to, any plugs you have, any shout-outs you want to make before we close this out?
Well, I promise to give shout-outs to all the TDM pickup players I used to play. I'm used to play.
It's a lot of people,
with.
man.
No, not all. It's for certain. It's Fraggy. Hi there, Fraggy and Lam and who else? Well, that's the most important players probably in the TDM pickup.
What about Sonigo?
Sonigo, yeah, sure. If Sonigo is
shouts.
watching, if you're, I don't know what time it is in Japan at the moment. A friend of mine is in Japan, Sonigo. Hi there. If anybody else of the Swiss players, Kane, for example, or I don't know, all these players. I'm just too tired to remember all the names.
Okay, so if people want to find you, where can they find you?
TDM pickup.
Is that it?
That's it.
No social media?
No.
Off the grid?
No.
All right. Well, thanks very much, Atomigo. Hopefully we can see you back at some point in the future. And guys, that's going to be the last. That's going to be everything. Everything is done now for today. So until next time, I don't know who exactly is casting next week. It might be. Actually, we'll leave it as a surprise. And I know some people know who's casting next week, but we'll leave it as a surprise for most of you. So that's it for today's show, and we'll see you next time here on FACEIT TV. Good night.